and then we're going to spread out, and I'll do 1 or 2 round robins with all of y'all, just kind of see what's happening, and then I'll regroup us to give us all of the answers to see and show you how it all pieced together, if we have anything at all. So, welcome to a parking lot. Congrats, you made it. Told you, I take you to weird spots. But this place used to be something relevant to the history of Charleston. This used to be the Charles and Eliza Pinckney Mansion. Their mansion sat in the front of the space facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant, came all the way across. We are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. So that's the layout of the land. So, by the way, all you communication device people, this is where I start withholding information. I'm not going to be giving you questions like what color was George Washington's white horse, like what we did over there with the big red barn. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind. You're going to get the answers from your listening devices and your communication. Anyway, Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. If you're not paying attention, that's 3 different Chucks. That's why we look for those secondary clues. I need to know which one it is so I know how to address them. So again, and all 3 of them are definitely 3 different men. Now, son and the nephew, signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. Big deal for South Carolina, but I hate politics. If I don't bring that up, they're going to do it for me very nastily in a spirit box. So I just make sure I give them that recognition every single night. So we're going to move on to Eliza. She has a much better history and a much better story. Now, Ori and Greg are ready, so let's get through this. I see the yawn. So, Eliza marries Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say it like that because if you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, don't expect numbers from the colonial days of when young ladies got married, like 12 and 14. Think of today's standards, because the husband was over double her age when they got married, which was kind of creepy then and now. So I'm just kind of giving you guys a heads up. So she marries him because her father is over in England and he thinks he's dying. Trying to bring all his children home one last time so he can see them. Eliza didn't believe he was dying, so she stayed put and got married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that year to get a green card because we're not a country yet. So she did marry him out of love. This is a true love story, and believe it or not, this place does deserve a lot of respect. So when we're out here, please be respectful to Miss Eliza. But anyway, she was correct. Dad did not die right away. Instead, he starts sending her gifts from England to where we're standing right now. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. Indigo is a plant that makes blue dye that makes her blue jeans blue. I don't see, oh, maybe 2 examples in here all night long. So when she got her seeds, she didn't know what to do with them. She actually learned from her servants and slaves how to keep it cultivated. It's not always warm here. We're all bundled up with hoodies and jackets. So you get the point. Then she learned how to make the dye, moved to a cash crop, and got a hold of her father overseas and told him that the rice plantations are going downhill, that we're going to make a killing with this indigo. And we now have an international businesswoman during colonial times. Something absolutely unheard of. So that's the boring business stuff, as Greg pointed out with his yawns, of Eliza.
Sorry, I'm just looking at the numbers.
No, you're good, you're good. So let's get into some of the questions and the weird stuff, because that's why you guys are all here. So I do like to keep this particular location pretty controlled. So I'm going to assign you guys questions. Keep in mind that there's a lot of communication devices out here, 3 cameras, and my voice recorder. If you're asking a question, Daisy, that answer can go to any of those devices. That's why you guys are going to tell me all the silly shit that you guys are hearing from your devices, and even though your list was kind of bogus, you still gave me all the silly things that you weren't sure about. That's what we're looking for. So with yours, we're going to actually give you the Eliza's death question. She's pretty open about talking about it.
Okay.
So the 4 major things that we get answers from about this are her age at death, how she died, where she's buried, and which president was a pallbearer at her funeral.
Okay.
So those are 4 majors. If you guys do go rogue with your questions or cherry pick from somebody else's, just make sure that they're not yes/no questions and that they're respectful. It's the only thing that I really ask of this. So with yours, I think we're going to go with the same set of questions based on the device that you have. So if you 2 have the same device, we're going to stick to it. So age of death, how she died, where she's buried, and which president was a pallbearer at the funeral. Next communication device, you're going to be looking for Eliza's initials. So it's going to be ELP in that order, and of course any words that are going to be spelled out. So your device, because you're supposed to be close to the computer, so that the word is spelled out, and then you do the message to get out to the device. What happened to it? Get the answer.
Who was the president?
When that happened. So obviously some kind of tragedy, but we're looking for the date of that tragedy. Try to keep that in mind. Remember, those answers can go anywhere. So with cameras, move nice and slow. Throw your camera's on the left, which is good. And you're already recording, Angelina, so good job. The only person I think I need to keep behind right now is going to be Claire. so I can show her a little bit more about that device. And then, if we have any numbers coming out of our devices that EMF readers yet?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
The highest one I got was 27.
Okay. That's pretty high. Being outdoors with a space with no electricity. So, did you get anything out of yours, Derek?
I got like a 2.6 for like a quick second.
Okay. So that's your baseline is still going to be that 2.5, 2.6.
Normally it's like 0.3.
Good. The fact that you get 2 point something. So again, you're smoking a little bit different style of
It is quick, it just pops up.
So that little blinking light device I put away only goes to 25. So if that was all we were using, we would have mixed with 25. Does that make sense? That's why I don't always use it. So we're going to keep your baseline at 25, so don't do anything below that at this point. That's how it goes. You're going to stick to 0.5. Anyway, let's scatter about. Just stay away from the 3 vehicles we do have in here. Try not to go around them, especially with cameras. And I'm going to be bouncing around with all of you.
Alright.
About Eliza cookie. I heard about her think about her too. Wow. Where were you married?
Team doesn't never stay. I don't know. Team. Signs are
That's why it doesn't.
So it spiked to a 4 right where my wife was for a split second.
And that's so those folks don't stay. So even like this kind of stuff, you probably went all the way down below it. Like that's how this works. So if it was something from a man-made object, it would be like 27, 25, 29, 26, 22. It would stay within range.
Okay.
So again, the things that are paranormal it doesn't do that. So I tested a lot of different like devices and lighting and electricity and houses and sets and all that kind of stuff. This is always going to fluctuate. With this one though, it still has no real grasp because it measures so many different styles of EMF.
What year did you pass away?
getting anything? Oh. Really nothing over you. But I know. I don't see anything except for, you know, people and signs and trees.
I feel like
That little light right there, it goes up to like 30s plus. But like obviously because that's got electricity.
I think I saw like tiny orbs like right there for a second, but I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, I've seen like a ton of orb pictures in like haunted places, so yeah, orbs would...
I'm not sure if it was like the reflection of the light or like the actual...
A bug. Yeah, bugs.
But like it was there for a hot second, but then it went away.
I saw like maybe like a face and like arms. That's it. Like a neck, face, and arms. That's it. And I think it was a friend.
Anything, Angie?
I think I did for a split second, but I don't know if I'm blind. Eliza, am I secretly the chosen one? You can be honest.
Sitting on the car. Where are you buried at?
In a white car right there. In a white car?
This way. Oh, I swear to God, if it's a tree, I'm gonna...
It's like right over here. I went right over here. Look away from the top.
Like ghosts
I'm into more like, I like witches and stuff. That's what I like.
I'm into more like spirits and ghosts.
I think that's cool as well. I'm just having more knowledge on witches.
Like classic Goosebumps or whatever. I read like the whole entire R.L. Stein. That was like a grow up thing. I had like the whole series. It was so bad, and I read them at least like 5 times. Do you know what? Okay, that's not a person.
I was like, oh, what? I've
Sorry, anything weird?
No.
Okay.
I might have saw someone sit on a car, but that's it.
If you see like another figure that's not supposed to be there, by the way, I usually ask them a specific question. Hey, if you're Eliza, can you raise your right hand? And then look at the camera. That's a good way to get a reaction, especially if there's 3 dots for it.
Yeah, I've seen like a lot of food dogs.
Also,
And
signs, but it'll also pick up your shadow. It's not a person laying on the ground. Shadow there. You will. And with your camera, just so you know, because it is so super small, I may not follow up with you so much in real time because I do send it to YouTube, so that way I can see it on a nice big screen. You guys will be able to watch it on your TV. I watch it on a computer. So if it seems like I'm talking to all the communication people more, it's because with that one, I can't see it in real time anyway. And if you already think you saw something, you've already seen it. So I can't go back and rewatch it until I'm back at the computer. So, and you are super quiet too, aren't you?
No.
No?
No.
Just got to get you talking to somebody more
Yeah.
comfortable? I got you.
He thinks I'm super quiet. I'm not super quiet.
All right, let's kind of get everybody wrapped up. Let's bring everybody back to the back.
You leaving, guys? Oh yeah.
Do you?
Yes. I feel like I've seen it.
Anything since last we spoke? Anything since last time we talked?
Yeah,
What you got?
I got 165.
Okay.
I got short passage. 1055. Felicidad.
I got Felicidad.
Yeah. I got U.S. and New Year. And Bible.
I think you had Bible on yours.
Yeah.
You guys are in the Bible Belt, so you're going to hear a lot of religious phrases as we kind of go through the night. Normally, we don't start getting in excess of them until we start getting near St. Philip's Church, because that is our tallest steeple. But again, this was a religious family. If you have a camera at this point, go ahead and stop them. Looks like Victoria already has. ever heard. Besides Greg turning the light on that guy.
Oh, yes.
Okay, on the base of it is the top left button. Left column, top button. Just tap it. You should be able to tap it. Yep.
Oh,
I know what you did. You can trust it. You broke it, man. If this is the worst thing that's going to happen tonight, I'm good. Anything on the way? So you got a little list?
Mother, Christmas, damned, water, bruising, nobody can save you, find, remove, home, bell, and buried.
Is there a bell?
Bell.
Because I think you had Bella on the word list, right? Bella.
Yeah.
So did you hear something coming out of there yet? Did you hear anything yet? I hear the church. I actually expect those things. Keep listening. The story can get a little lengthy, so I usually try to breeze through this one as much as possible so we can actually get back to work. I do want to explain the next two stops just because they are a little bit different than what we're doing after this one. So the next location is the new one. So we'll be using a brand new EVP recorder. This thing is ridiculous. So it's a voice recorder meant for musicians, which means it can basically hear a frog bark from 3 miles away. We'll be able to hear all kinds of things that come out of this. So if anybody wants to volunteer for that, once we actually get going, by all means let me know. You guys are all pointing at each other over here. It is a murder mystery, so I don't have all the details. So once we get over there, I'll tell you what is known about the murder mystery, and then you guys are going to help me come up with more questions. So you guys will be working with me for a few spots already, so you'll be able to see how questioning can actually work out. I'll also tell you about the EVPs that we've caught so far with that EVP recorder. Pretty crazy stuff. I've only been using it since Halloween. So pretty good stuff so far. The last location is the Estes method. If you're not familiar with that, let me do a very quick explanation. 2 people are going to basically sit on a bench. One person will be blindfolded and listening to a spirit box to the point where they cannot hear me. I will be questioning that person as if they are our ghost, and they will not know the history of the location. So they will not know what to listen for, they will not have questions, and they will not be able to hear me. The secondary person will be wearing a VR headset, and my phone will be inside generating artificial intelligence images based off of the EMF readings around our space. What happens with this is the person blindfolded, it looks like a conversation, hopefully, if everything is coming through properly, and the person wearing the VR headset is a nice supplement to those images will be relevant to the person we're trying to get in contact with. It's a very fun experiment, even for the 8 other people that will not be involved, because if the person that is blindfolded isn't getting the messages coming through, it may just look like a silly conversation, which is still funny for us on our end. You will get all of the images that are created through the AI imagery. It will be in your data set, but I will tell you that the imagery part of it is more accurate than the conversation is. So I do measure all of these results to see what works best. The AI imagery is about 45% accurate, so it's almost half of the images that are going to come through are going to be relevant to our ghost. The conversational piece of it is about 30 to 32% accurate, and that's based on sessions. So 1 out of 3 sessions is what I would call successful, that we actually had contact, and it was a correct answer to questionings that were happening in real time. I only keep those 2 people under for 10 minutes, but I teach the other people the rest of the history before we do the blindfold test. So the 8 people will know what's going on, the 2 people that are sitting on the bench will not. Does that make sense? So I'll explain more once we get over there, but I do like to change it up a little bit. So, any volunteers for any one of those projects, by the way? Are you volunteering yourself to be blindfolded or what?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you want to do this too? What do you want to do?
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. She's like, I want to do something else besides hold a camera. Okay. So we'll kind of see how this goes. And Tori missed everything. She just pulled an earbud out. All right. So we are here because of that little tiny building up there. Those are not crosses on that building. Those are earthquake bolts. If you don't know what those are, they're basically turnbuckles. It goes all the way through the building, looks just like that on the other side. In the event we have another earthquake, you can tighten those bolts up, and it tightens up the building so it doesn't incur any further damage. Great idea, it just doesn't work, just so you guys know. You guys have been seeing them all over town. They're in the shape of lion heads and pineapples and Charleston charm bullshit. That's why they're there. Even the apartment building, the brick building behind you, also has earthquake bolts in every floor. And it's on all 4 sides on that location, so super weird. Anyway, those earthquake bolts, the reason why I point them out is because it's part of the reason why we're here. Those earthquake bolts are the first set that Charleston ever put in, because that's the oldest government building in South Carolina. It was finished in 1713. We're here because that building was being constructed at the same time that Anne Bonny was coming here to start her new life. hence what I call a familiar. You guys watch the TV shows and YouTube videos, you've seen that Boo Buddy. That's the teddy bear with the little blinky light in there, so if the child ghost comes near, it goes off. Think of that concept because the child would recognize it as a toy with this building. We don't have many buildings this old. Something Anne would recognize, if you're getting my point. So, the building took 10 years to build. Does that sound like our government? Small building, 10 years? Sorry if anybody here works for the government, but it's just Daisy's like, I don't give a damn. But anyway, that's kind of the reason why we're here, is because right in the middle of its construction, 1708, a young lady moved here from Ireland. Try to follow me on Anne's history because there's a couple of twists. I will slow down on the twist, but I will breeze through everything else. She moves here from Ireland with her father and his mistress. The mistress is her mother. Are you guys with me so far? Okay, the three of them are running away from her father's angry wife. So how mad was that wife that she kicked him out of the damn country, by the way? So they came here by boat and landed in Georgetown. Dad bought a plantation up there, and Mom died pretty quickly. That means Dad is now sending young Anne down here to Charlestown to sell things from the plantation to help keep things afloat, hence the familiar building. Now, Anne back home in Ireland was said to be a badass even when she was a little girl. At the age of 7, 8, 9 years old, remember it's pirate lore, nothing is ever going to be exact, they say she killed a servant with a knife to the belly. Can't tell you how many times we've had servant, knife, and belly show up on 3 different communication devices. Fast forward. The building's done in 13, but by 1715, pirates are starting to come through Charlestown. Anne is stoked. Why? She's going to fall in love with one of these gents, so that way she can earn her freedom, just like a man. It's a man's world at this point. First, guys she falls in love with. I said first because there's a handful. We're going to cover them all. That's what makes the story so damn good. First guy is James Bonney. You already see where this one's going? Because I've already told you her pirate name. They ran away to Jamaica because Dad didn't approve. He's a filthy pirate. That's where Anne Cormac became Anne Bonny. So that's where the pirate name is. But when she gets down there, she realizes that James Bonney, her new husband, is not Captain Jack Sparrow like what she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer, which makes him a coward because he's a spy for the British. This is not who she wanted. She falls in love again. Guy number 2. This is John Rackham, but everybody calls him Calico Jack. This is the guy they based your Johnny Depp character off of, in case you were wondering. Calico Jack has his own ship, he has his own crew. Anne wants to be part of the crew. You cannot put a female on a pirate ship. Does anybody know why? It is bad luck. Thank you for keeping it family friendly, man. So we get a lot of dirty answers to that. I usually wait for the foot shuffle, like, I'm not answering that. There's kids around. But anyway, it is bad luck. So he makes a deal with her. If you dress like a guy and look like the crew, you can be part of the crew. But you're going to be a female in my quarters. She's okay with this because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home in Ireland to hide her from his wife. She gets it. It's a man's world. But let's put 2 and 2 together. She's a female in his quarters. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You can't have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out she's a girl. He drops her off in Cuba before she starts to show her pregnancy and says, has a baby over here. These are friends of mine. They'll help you out. Come back and we'll figure it out from there. She goes and has the baby, but returns without a baby. We have no idea what happened to this child. She also comes back dressed as a female. This makes Jack pretty angry because everybody's going to know he let a girl on the ship. To make him even more mad, she's going to go flirting with the pirate crew he just captured. They're down below deck. Lost track. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy to be part of the crew the Calico Jack captured. So now we have 2 females dressed like pirates on the same ship. Her name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. I know we had the name Mark on the word list earlier, a little too far away. I was looking for more things relevant to the story. Anne and Mary became friends for sure, but maybe lovers. We're not really sure because of the time frame. But the British find out where they are. They send a whole fleet of ships to come take down one pirate ship. Rumor is that Anne and Mary were the only 2 pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with 1-bullet flintlock guns. Obviously, they don't know how to use the cannon jet, and they get arrested because they can't take on a whole fleet of ships with their cannons. As they're being arrested, Anne looks at her captain and beau, Calico Jack, and she says, I'm so sorry to see you here, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog. The word dog shows up a lot on your communication devices. The judge wants to see the 2 men that fought back so valiantly on their own. He's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight. They're dead and gone. The 2 ladies go in front and reveal their gender, hoping to save themselves, and the judge could give a damn that they are female. He is still going to hang them because they're still pirates, and they're still criminals to him. So they scream out, we plead our bellies, because you cannot hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. He sends them both back to jail, delays the hanging. Dad is still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He bails out Anne and brings her back home. She remarries, that's husband number 2, with guy number 4, because we're going to count Mary, we don't really know. She has 4 kids and dies at the age of 84. Very abrupt ending, because we don't really know much about her after her pirate career that can be confirmed. So Mary Reed died 5 months later in that Jamaican jail from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. Use your imagination. Most books tell you it was fever. I say let's make it romantic and call it scurvy. Why the hell not? We're talking pirates. So I'm not going to control this particular location like I did with the Pinckney Mansion site. I will tell you just a few things that I left out of the story on purpose. Everything else is fair game. Ask whatever the hell you want to, and any tone that you want to. I'm not going to say go ahead and provoke her, but again, she is a kick-ass female pirate. She'll probably take it and give it right back to you. I did leave out the names of Anne Bonny's parents. That's the father and the mistress. So keep that in mind. I do know what they are for sure. The city where she grew up in Ireland, the name of Calico Jack's ship, and the color of Anne Bonny's hair. Everything else you want to ask is fair game. Again, just don't go after yes/no questions. And we are going to spread out in this location and kind of see what we got going on. I say that you guys mix it up. If anybody else wants to mix it up among their group, by all means, switch it up. Angelina's like, I'll take something else, anything else. EMF readings, just so you know, the closer you get to that side of the lock on the EMF readings, you're going to get false positives for false.
So right here, you just turn it off. Try not to, don't push any of the buttons. I'll turn it up all the way.
Over here is
You're recording already?
anything going on with the device over here, the word
So go
list
ahead and, what's her name?
Jill,
Anne Bonny.
Diary, Broad, Manuel, Zoe.
And then what I was doing was I was just writing in my phone.
Sound like a lot of dog
I know.
names. Cameron, Zoe, Bella. Okay, interesting. Alright, let's get that spirit box unmuted. Let's have some fun in this location.
So maybe let's start back here.
Parents' names. Either one. Mom or dad.
Alright, Anne Bonny. Is that right? Anne Bonny was a player. She was around.
She had a time.
She sure did. Anne Bonny. Anna Bonny, what's her name?
Yeah, Anne Bonny.
Anne Bonny, which one was your favorite?
Yeah, all the flavors. Dressing like a man, having babies, dropping them off, trying to be a pirate.
What happened to the baby?
He didn't say. That's what he
Let's
said.
ask him. What happened to your first child? Did you leave him in Cuba? Did he die? Or did she die? Were you ever pregnant? Remember, he said to keep it as still as you can, as walking. To keep it very still. Anne Bonny, which one of your husbands did you love the most? What happened to your first child? Did you abandon him? 2.3.
Higher than 7.
Higher than 7 here?
You're looking for higher than 7.
2.4.
Because I have my video camera, I don't know if that set it off too.
2.3 and 2.4. Anne Bonny.
Sweet.
Have any affairs? 2.6. 3.4. I wonder if it's this light over here. 3.3. 54. 5. Gotta be something over here.
Yeah, like I set off
7.
the solar, like literally.
6. 7. 6. And Bonnie. Oh, now 0. What happened to your baby? What are the names of your parents?
That's the other group.
How old were you when you had your second child?
What's up?
How did you die? Where are you buried at?
Or he grew up to be a pirate.
How high was it supposed to go?
Oh, at this location, we're starting over at 2.5.
So we got a 3.6.
Oh, I'm actually excited about that because 99% of the time, we don't get anything unless you're too close to the electrical poles.
So I was over there.
How close?
We were walking the rim.
So, yeah,
So-
like the rim.
So you were pretty close to the bushes?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
my thing. But I started over here where I started getting the two, so across that side of the road there by the bushes.
Yeah, there's
That's when I
parking
got the
meters on the
highest.
other side.
That's why.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
So normally with that particular device, I'm usually
Stay over here.
on the back half.
Okay.
So that's,
Okay.
again, I am excited about a 2.5 here because we don't normally see things. We have gotten like some 8, 9s, 10s, maybe a 12 here and there. Very seldom. But I do get excited about a 2.5 because it's definitely going in the notes.
Yeah. I got a 3.6 was the highest. That was over there.
Over there by there. So I expect like a 3 to a 7, maybe even an 8 as you get closer to the electrical poles and the meters, just because all of that EMF together is going to make it jump up real quick. So, but good catch though. At least you caught onto it. Like, hey, what the hell's going on here? So I think Angelina has a spirit monster.
Yes, he does.
She's pretty good at that.
Okay, figure out what she's got.
So you should have been back here. I didn't know. Why
Want
not?
to switch? Oh no.
I just had
this
that.
one.
You can use this one.
No. It's okay.
Come on.
I'm not sure which. What are you supposed to see through that one?
Something that's not us. That should
Oh. So, can you show yourself?
be. Yeah.
Huh, let's stand here. Maybe she can come stand next to me. And Bonnie, can you come stand next to me? I want to know what happened to your baby.
Oh, that's Angie. I was like, whoa, she's behind you. But it's Angie.
Here, we debunked that one. Did you have a boy or a girl?
Too close to the pole, honey.
What was your mother's name? Will you hold this for a second? Put my hat back on.
I think it's funny because I was like, "Hi, Ann," and then like a song comes up and it's like, "I always hate my name," and I was like, "Oh, oh wow."
You can check it out.
Not that. See what we find over here.
So parking meters.
Parking meters set it off. Try and stay far away from it and keep asking her.
It's the baby's
Maybe
name.
we should say, yeah, what were your children's names
How many children did you have?
in total? Because we know you hopped around.
How long were you
Maybe
a private?
Maybe we should talk to her in pirate.
How long were you a pirate?
All her life, probably.
Why did you want to be a pirate?
Arr!
How many people did you kill?
Did you kill any at all?
How did you die?
How did you kill them?
How long were you at sea? Were you ever a captain?
I think so. I don't think women were able to, but we'll find out.
She dressed like a dude. You know.
Oh, well, when she wasn't knocked up.
She lived to 80. She's pretty crafty.
And Bonnie, what happened to your children? Did you love them?
Where are you now? So, oh man. Watch out for the pole, honey. There's that one there.
Angelina, anything? You got anything?
1,000 and
By the way, Greg, the biggest orb I've ever caught has been here. It was bigger than my head.
I haven't seen any.
So, again, that camera's so small in real time. I caught it when I was back at the office. It was
Oh.
like a oh crap moment.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't even know what was going on in real time.
I'm happy I switched with Angelina because I was getting dizzy with that thing.
Dizzy.
It can be daunting,
Mm-hmm.
you know, especially if you keep it running a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So when I do an investigation, I normally have 2 of those running on mute in the background so I can focus on other things, and I just listen to recordings later. One's running super fast, one's slow. But a lot of times I'll be in a space for 2 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
So I gotta cover every inch of that 2 to 4 hours, and it takes me a while because I usually do about an hour to an hour and a half at a time. Because again, even with earbuds, and I listen to that every day, it can be daunting and dizzying, and the whole nine.
She's having fun with it.
Do you think she'd be okay with going into a virtual reality piece at the end?
Yeah, she'll
Think
love
she'll
it.
be okay with
Yeah. She'll be fine.
Because Tori's giving us a little bit more. Because you guys, they did the exact same thing you guys did. They passed it off to the daughter. So she's giving us a little bit more. So I may go ahead and blindfold her and actually let Angelina run the VR piece.
Either one she'd
Yeah.
be excited to do.
Yeah. Well, I also have to look at like the benefit of, you know, the whole group of like who's giving me more out of it. So between the 2 of you out of this end, it would have been Barbara was giving me more than what you were giving me. I would have given you the VR piece because she was giving me more things that were relevant to our locations. So that's why like it normally takes like that much training of like go ahead and switch them up, but I'm still going to determine like who wants to go under.
Yeah.
The listening part of it with the next location, I still haven't figured out. I'll probably pick one of the 4 ladies over there since I'm picking one person out of your guys' each group to do the EVP work. So we'll see how that one goes.
She'll be good.
Yeah. It's actually a lot of fun in there. Like, I can sit in that thing for hours. Like, just watching what's being generated, especially at a new space. Like, I'm like, hell yeah, this is really cool stuff.
She'll like it.
Alright, let's get everybody over to the wall. Let's see what we got going on.
Heck yeah.
What'd you get?
Her reaching out.
That way it's safer. Make sure you stay that mom while you have that on.
Alright, so nothing was like far of somebody picked her up, took her to the hospital, which means the shooter got away. This woman's name is Mary Ravenel. If you came over here from Mount Pleasant, you went over the big giant Ravenel Bridge. This is a very prominent English name here in Charleston, so this is a very big deal. She was not robbed because her jewelry was still intact. Part of the inspiration of me even looking into this to begin with is because what we're about to put Angelina through with the AI imagery over there, does that sound like a pigeon? Like, does anyone else get the pigeon sound from that car? Like, that was super weird. Anyway, we're getting images relevant to this story over there at the next part, I was like, what is going on with all these weird images? We started diving in, turns out, definite clues to Mary Ravenel. So, you guys have been working with me for 3 or 4 spaces at this point. What would you want to know to get this woman to try to come and talk to us?
If she saw her murderer.
Okay. So if she saw them,
Does she know
said
them?
a man hit me.
Does she know the murderer?
Does she know them? Okay, that's good. That's a common one we've been getting. What else? What did they look like? You know what's interesting? So 4 or 5 nights ago, somebody had that same kind of questionnaire, like did we know it was a man? And then somebody from a spirit box screamed out, they just heard it was a black man. Last night on our investigation, when we're doing the AI imagery, we actually had an image of a black male, just his head looked like cylinder blocks behind him, like he was in a jail cell. The weirdest thing ever. It was strange. There's no assumption anywhere in any of the police reports that assuming that it may have been a black man. So the hope here is that what we're trying to do with this is if I can get enough answers, I may be able to turn something over to the police if I can prove anything. That's kind of the cool thing, right? Because again, we never know what we're actually getting at. What we've gotten so far is you guys are trying to think of other questions. I did get a help in the background on a very quiet, no traffic, no foot traffic night. So I was just talking and I heard help in the background. That was a few weeks ago. Just last week, we had a help me, I fell down in the background. Same voice that I heard from before. And then we caught whispers. It wasn't as clear as those two. Oh, I had whispering, and we couldn't make out what the whispering was. So, any other questions that we would ask? I like the, do we know who it is, and do we know what they look like? But all we know that she knows is that it was a man.
Know you're bad, huh?
So what other questions would we ask? Nothing? Claire, nothing? I'm calling you out because you haven't said a damn word all night. So,
Does she know them?
Does she know the killer? I would think that she would call them out by name if she knew them. So, some of the common things are, was there a motive? This is a prominent woman here in Charleston, so she had money, but it makes sense that they didn't take her pearls and any of her jewelry. So what were they after? Was it an accident? Has been another question that's been common.
Did she have enemies?
She was 64 years old. I get it. Could have been a stuck-up old lady.
Did she write a check for asking cash? While like just talking smack.
Good
then
Right, but how much do you know about her personal life? Was she married? Did she have...
Her husband was
did she
passed.
have an affair with somebody she wasn't married?
To my knowledge, there's no foul play. She was a widow, but she married into the Ravenel family because she's originally from Detroit.
I would ask if she regrets or if she had like any
Unfinished
business.
business?
I like it. That's the first time I've had somebody come up with that. Okay.
Is there anything she needed to say or do
Any regrets?
before she passed?
Keep in mind, like as we're sitting here talking about this, I'm hoping that something's going to pop up. In the meantime, we may catch it in real time. We might catch it when I get back to the office. So that's kind of how this works for me. I just like to stir things up and kind of wow, for you. I'm so sorry. But those chimes can be very, very loud. Have we heard or seen anything on our devices at this point? Do we have any words?
Ugly map, interrogated, watch, speed, bet, manual, appoint, general.
Okay. Angelina, anything?
2, 6, 7 believers. I wish I knew Abraham Lincoln.
I like might be I wish I knew, because we did ask a lot of those, did we know who it was? I wish I knew. So that kind of makes sense then. Like that one for sure. So, anything coming out of yours? Or you been focused on me the whole time?
Yeah.
The 267, that could be something as well. I just don't know what. Again, I love when numbers start to show up, but the I wish I knew, like that's pretty big. We just asked a lot of questions, and maybe she could have answered I wish I knew to any of them. So, very interesting. All right, anybody else want to give a listen to this guy before we wrap this one up? Nobody else wants to?
I'll do it. I'll do it.
So just try not to put the headphones close to the mic because it will squeal. So go ahead and stop those down. Just like to give you guys whoever wants to hear the intensity of it. And we'll give this like a minute or so with every person. It's pretty intense. So a lot of the first comments when somebody puts on that headset is, why don't we hear this clearly? Again,
Now he can hear.
you can see why this is probably only going to be a Sunday through Thursday little part of my routes, just because Friday, like, I'm not going to do this tomorrow on a holiday weekend. It's going to be swamped down here, and we're not going to be able to capture anything. So there's really no point. So I won't even discuss this with tomorrow night's group. Fridays and Saturdays, just no, just not going to happen. So some serious chords over there. All right, any letters showing up on there, Victoria? Nothing?
I just reset it because it was all different, all random.
Look like a prescription? All right. Nothing else being heard, no numbers coming out of yours.
$1 million deal in spirit.
Dollar deal.
Car.
You asked if she was shamed. $1 million deal. Was there a cash you couldn't check? Check you couldn't cash. All right, any other takers on wanting to listen to this for a second or so?